Hello, this is St Mary's Church of England Primary School in Leafy, Hertfordshire. It's a school of 230 pupils set in beautiful grounds, but appearances can be deceptive. This school is not quite as green as it looks.
And these are called what?
Letters.
Letties.
Head teacher Helen Gill is on a mission to make St Mary's a sustainable school. If she can, she'd love to save money too.
Are you going to walk along with me a little bit?
So, why do you want to be a sustainable school?
I think it's very important for our children to build up the life skills with us so they realise that they have a part to play in caring for their environment, and I think it's very important that we show them how to do that. Secondly, we're backed by the government's initiative by 2020 that schools are all sustainable.
And do you think that going green could save the school money too?
I think long term it will save the school an enormous amount of money. In the short term, I think it's our job to see how we can save money in terms of fuel and energy costs, show the children how we're doing that, and then afterwards get their support in ways they can see.
Is saving money by going green quite as simple as Helen thinks it is? Green energy saving devices don't come cheap. So, to see if we can make the figures work, we've brought along DCSF procurement expert Claire Dix. A look around the school reveals a typical 1960s build. The school has undertaken some green initiatives, installing water butts to collect rainwater, for example, but these don't give them massive savings. Their energy rating certificate shows an E grade, and the school can expect to pay around £11,000 a year for gas and electricity. Would you say you're a green school?
I'd say we're trying to work towards it, and we've got elements of it. For example, we try to use as much as possible reclaimed materials, but I'd say it's limited.
So how do you think that fits in with a sustainability agenda?
I think we're doing bits depending on what's going on. So say, for example, the local authority have a recycling initiative and a competition, we'd sort of join in things like that. But I don't know how much it comes together as one picture. It seems to be various elements.
What is it you're really looking to do?
What I'm really looking to do is bringing all the elements together, and I hope to achieve that by, as a school, us developing a green team that consists of pupils from different year groups and different classes, at which they look at all the different elements, and as a team we bring them all together.
Claire has a look around the school. Does she think they are following through with their green agenda?
I think the school wants to follow through. The issue is that any energy saving initiative is quite expensive to invest in, and for that reason they need to understand when and if it's actually going to pay off.
Well, to understand the sustainability issues that affect this school, we've brought along an expert building services sustainability engineer, Mark Hutchison from Consulting Engineers Dunwoody LLP. Mark's general advice is to improve the efficiency of insulation and heating systems first.
So all your insulation requirements would have already been dealt with?
Yes.
Well insulated?
If these need renewing, then you can look at sustainable solutions. So next stop is the boiler room with Helen and site manager Ron.
Well, as far as these boilers are concerned, it wouldn't make any economic sense to actually replace those. The payback periods would be extensive on that. The hot water boiler, on the other hand, it's seen better days, so yes, we can look at replacing that. We can also look at making that a bit more green. Have you any views as to anything that you would want to incorporate?
Definitely something like solar panels, if that was possible, depending on the cost.
Well, certainly solar panels are a good option. They are a sustainable solution. They will reduce your energy consumption.
Solar panels here would be easy to fit, cost around £4,000, and depending on usage, could pay for themselves in under 10 years. And because the hot water boiler needs replacing anyway, this is a good investment for St Mary's. Next, the open-air swimming pool. This is most likely the reason the school got an E-grade energy rating. Has Mark any suggestions?
There are things that you can do with the energy. You can look at using some solar matting to get some free heat from the sun, and you've got a gas-fired boiler unit. You can use a heat pump, which will reduce your energy consumption and will also reduce carbon emissions, so it's quite a sustainable option.
A A heat pump draws heat from the surrounding air, and for a pool like this would cost around £8,000. It could pay for itself in around 5 years. Inside, the school building is generally well insulated, and the new double glazing prevents heat loss. Only the roof lights are single glazed.
I noticed on the roof lights here, they haven't been replaced at the same time as the double glazing.
No, they haven't. The cost of replacing them and actually us putting them into use wasn't feasible.
Right. It's really not sustainable to do that because you'll spend more time, money, energy in actually replacing them than you'd actually recover. So that seems a sensible solution.
Replacing the roof lights would cost around £2,500 per classroom and would take a whopping 650 years to recoup their cost. Mark's Sustainability Health Check gives Claire more facts on which to base her Save Money report.
So Claire, did Mark come up with any good ideas?
Yes, he did. Quite a lot around the boiler in the first instance and what the options are should it need replacing. And then we had a look at the pool, and I think he thinks there's some heating issues.
And are there any grants available for these kinds of improvements?
Yes, there are, fortunately, because it's quite a capital outlay normally for any of these sorts of improvements. So there are things such as the Bioenergy Capital Grant Scheme through the Department of Energy and Climate Change, and other funds such as the lottery funding, but there will be other funds available throughout the term of the project. But there's also a new initiative through the government which is around the Energy Services Directive, and that's really about the purchase of goods and services in the future to make sure that they are actually energy efficient.
Grants aren't universally available, so solar panels, matting and heat pumps could hit St Mary's school budget hard. But not all sustainable school actions cost money.
Getting the whole school on board and turning all the pupils into carbon detectives is free. And sustainable development is also part of the curriculum.
To give head Helen a glimpse of what is possible, we went to another school that takes green issues and puts them at the heart of its curriculum. Bowbridge Primary School in Newark. Here, the pupils are acutely aware of energy-saving issues. Alongside school buildings dating back to the 1940s is a new eco-building, with every green gizmo going.
The features it's got to make it an eco-building include things like rainwater toilets, biomass boiler, passive solar energy, and solar panels for the hot water.
But David is keen to be green across the whole school, so behaviour of pupils and staff is key.
Someone said to me once that saving energy is 20% a technical solution and 80% a behaviour solution. So I think you can have all the wizardry in the world, but if you haven't got people who are aware of the need to save energy, then you're onto a loser. The other older buildings haven't got the high-tech energy-saving features, so it means that we've got to be even more vigilant in terms of not wasting energy in those buildings.
An example of this is smart meters. These devices give real-time energy consumption figures, which the school can then analyse, changing behaviour accordingly. But before the meters were fitted, pupils monitored consumption the old-fashioned way.
We used to get the children to go with the caretaker, read the meters, see how the dials changed over time, record all that, build up a database, and then see how the energy is being used at different times of the day, different times of the week, different times of the year.
Smart meters can be bolted onto existing heating systems at a cost of around £4,000. If monitored carefully, they can cut fuel bills by as much as 20%. Impressive though the eco-building is, the real key to sustainability is the behaviour of the pupils.
We go around the schools turning down the radiators and switching off lights and saving electricity and things.
Well, we have like a team of people who cut down on all the electricity and all the water that's been wasted, and they're called the energy enforcers.
Well, we all do it, but it's their job to make sure that everyone does it. They keep everyone in track and we do it.
We take the recycling, we actually sort out the rubbish ourselves when we put it into the bins.
Being sustainable, being green is a good thing for society, but on a practical level it helps us to save money.
Bowbridge School shows that every school can save money by focusing on cheap and easy energy-saving measures. Various bodies, such as the Carbon Trust, give money-saving tips. But what's the story for St Mary's? Now the moment of truth. We're about to tell head teacher Helen Gill if there are any savings to be made by becoming a sustainable school. Waiting in anticipation with Helen is Jill Bailey, the school bursar. Hi.
Hello.
So, Claire, let's start off with the pool.
Okay, firstly, we've had a look at how you're running the pool at the moment, and we've worked out that if you replace the gas boiler with a heat pump and add some solar matting, you would reduce your CO2 emissions immediately.
Right.
But you'll find that the benefits will also pay for itself within about 6 to 8 years, and could save around £2,100 a year.
Sounds very good, doesn't it?
Good.
So let's move on, Claire, to the hot water boiler. What news have you got?
Right. The new hot water boiler will cost around £6,000.
Right.
But the one that's currently there is on its last leg, so I think it's getting to the point where you're going to have to replace it. Combining this with the solar panels that have also been discussed will cost around £4,000, but these would almost save about £500 a year and reduce your CO2 emissions by about 2 tonnes.
So that really is two birds with one stone, isn't it?
Yes.
It's reducing your CO2 emissions and it's saving another £500 a year. So we're up to £2,600.
And don't forget, you need to do a bit of research to find out what other funds are available if you're going to make any kind of investment in these sorts of areas. It doesn't all have to come from school funds.
Right. So Claire, if Helen and her colleagues were able to draw everything together to create a really kind of whole school approach to eco-awareness, how much would that boost the savings by?
So combining the figures from Mark and the information that we've obtained from the Carbon Trust, we've worked out that by careful monitoring of your bills, keeping doors and windows closed, making that all big part of the curriculum, we've noticed already that the children around the school are already talking about recycling, all that kind of thing. So you can save up to around 20% on your energy bill. That's £1,700 a year.
So combining all of those savings together, we've come up with a total saving figure of £4,300.
Right.
Now, what would you spend that kind of saving on?
We have lots of ideas, don't we?
I'm sure you do. What are your main priorities?
I suppose our main priorities would be in developing the outside areas for the children. For us, it's interesting and it's been a bit of an eye-opener into the little things that you can do, and also, you know, looking at what the other school's doing. That's given us some insight into ways forward. Yeah.
We hope that you can make those savings and implement the things you've talked about. And it just goes to show that becoming a sustainable school really can save money.
Yes.